70.
Wait a minute, it's a minute.
7.
You wouldn't?
Ready?
Yep.
Is it done? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being across the street for our 9/11 service. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the town website. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all the people lost on 9/11, 17 years ago. Thank you. Yeah, I got to do this.
Mayor Huber, Deputy Mayor Du Bois,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides.
Here.
Committeewoman Stampoulis.
Here.
Committeewoman Vasallo is sick.
Okay, we have a proclamation this evening for Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. And on behalf of Committeewoman Vasallo, who's not here, I know this is a cause near and dear to her. I'm going to read it on her behalf. Whereas each September, America calls attention to a deadly disease that affects thousands of women across our country. This year, over 22,000 women will develop ovarian cancer, and more than half will die of this disease. They are mothers and daughters, sisters and grandmothers, community members, and cherished friends, and the absence they leave in our hearts will be deeply felt forever. And whereas women are all too often diagnosed with this disease when it has already reached an advanced stage, because early detection is the best defense against ovarian cancer, it is essential that women know the risk factors associated with the disease. Any woman who thinks she is at risk of ovarian cancer or who experiences symptoms, including abdominal pain, pressure, or swelling, should talk with her healthcare provider. And whereas during National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, we honor those who we have lost, show our support for women who bravely carry on the fight, and take action to lessen the tragic toll ovarian cancer takes on families. We stand with all excuse me, all those who have known the pain of ovarian cancer, and we rededicate ourselves to the pursuit of new and better ways to prevent, detect, and treat this devastating disease. Now, therefore, I, Richard Huber, Mayor of Springfield Township, the Township of Springfield, on behalf of the Township Committee, do hereby proclaim September 2018 as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Springfield, and by this action, let it be known that we extend a hand to all women battling ovarian cancer and pledge our support to them, to their families, and to the goal of defeating the disease.
Thank you. All right. Mental Health Association 11th Annual Walk Run for Wellness, Saturday, October 13th, 9:30 a.m. at Mohegan Park, Cranford. Okay, Union County POW MIA Remembrance Day ceremony is Friday, September 14th, 11:15 a.m. in the at the courthouse, Grove Street in Elizabeth. All right, now we go to public comment on agenda items only.
Jerry Fernandez, 393 Hillside Avenue.
Never heard of them.
I just want to thank the mayor and the committee for the ovarian cancer. Yeah, my grandmother had passed away from that in 1998.
Sorry.
And had gone to 2 doctors, and both doctors couldn't find anything wrong. So the symptoms are very simple symptoms of feeling full, bloated, going to the bathroom, and when you're older, I think you go more and more. So, you know, the symptoms are hard to detect. They call it the silent killer. So, you know, it's nice, and we try to bring attention to it in September for these symptoms that are very common. And the one thing, meeting with people who had this disease or who are involved with it, the one thing, the common denominator is that women would say, I know something's wrong. I know something's wrong. They know their bodies. They knew their bodies sometimes better than doctors that were examining. So don't take no for an answer. If you think there's something wrong, keep finding out till you know what it is, and hopefully we can save some lives by bringing awareness. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Anybody else? Anything? Okay, seeing none. What was that? All right, reports.
I'd like to make a motion to approve payroll and vouchers from the period from August 14, 2018 to September 11, 2018 in the amount of $11,497,294.65.
I second.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Committeeman Kappadis?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor DuBois?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Before we go any further, and I forget, which I will, on Monday, September 24th, we were supposed to have
Workshop session.
workshop session. It's tough getting old. Workshop session here at 7 o'clock. And we have to vote on it, but I'd like to move it to 6 o'clock because the first aid squad at 7:30 will be hosting the member squad of the 2nd District New Jersey State EMS Council for the monthly meeting. This happens only every 2 years in Springfield. And it's going to be at, if I'm not mistaken, at the pool house, right? At the pool. I mean, everybody's invited.
Well, the committee.
Committee's invited. So I'd like a motion to change the workshop session to 6 o'clock.
I'll make a motion to change our workshop on Monday, September 24th from 7 p.m. to 6.
I'll second.
Just all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Why do I have 2 microphones? I don't even need one.
Okay. And that wasn't on the agenda, that just came up, so, all right. There's that stuff. Minutes and reports.
I move to adopt the regular meeting and executive meeting minutes of June 26, 2018 as emailed.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposed? All right.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the joint Board of Ed minute meetings of July 16, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Any nay?
I move to adopt the workshop meeting minutes of July 16, 2018 as emailed.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'd like to adopt the regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes of July 17, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. We have new business ordinance, second reading.
Okay. Ordinance 2018-16. This ordinance makes changes to some of the fees for the Springfield Recreation Department and the Springfield Community Pool.
I move to adopt, I move ordinance 2018-16 as read by Madam Clerk.
I will second that.
Publication.
As published in the local source September 20th, 2018.
A
Sorry.
public comment on this? Does anybody like to say anything about this? All right,
These are the
Chief,
fees
do you have?
related to the pool house.
Yeah.
This is for the, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael, you want-
Yeah, I know this is to deal with private party rentals, utilizing the new room that we have, setting, fees for that purpose. It's not changing any
Not
of the
membership
other
or anything.
pool, and what else?
I don't remember the
Sports program recreation.
Right, and for the sports programs, recreation, there was a change there.
With the pool house.
What are the changes, what are the prices to still?
I don't have my thing up right.
It was,
So you're gonna go from 250 to 500?
No,
no.
250.
It's not 500 for non-residential.
Full room up to 4 hours on weekends during the operational season for pool members. We're changing,
So it's 250 during pool season
for residents,
for residents up to 4 hours.
and $5 a head for the guests.
Okay. And then, that's fair. And then non-pool season is 400 for residents and businesses and 500 for non-resident?
Yes.
I think 400 might be a little steep.
It's way lower than
it-
any other rental.
No, I
around.
understand, but, I
And
mean,
they have access to the kitchen as well, in that. Access to the kitchen.
Access to the kitchen if they want it.
so they have access to the, you're giving them access to the kitchen equipment as far as anything down there? They can cook in there?
So I was
That's
told.
what, yeah.
I mean, for a new facility, I mean, I think it might be a little high to start, but, okay.
Most facilities around are significantly more than that.
But they offer more. They might have bars in them.
Yeah, but the bar is extra, the old bars is extra. Bars are usually extra,
But I mean, they have access.
yeah.
Jerry Bujanowski, 128 Sugar Ave. So I'm actually surprised about the kitchen, because I know even, places that have kitchens don't allow you to use the kitchen. I mean, you can stage stuff in there, but you can't cook, like,
Well,
that's
heat it up,
a
I
big
think.
thing.
And that was wrong, I think it's just to heat it up. You can heat up like, if you get like Platter's eggplant or that, you can heat it
Okay.
up.
Sorry, that wasn't
No
clear.
cooking, no, there'll be no cooking.
Even that though, you know what I mean? Because they're using our stuff.
Yeah.
They're not just staging it there.
Well, they would be heating up in, I guess, the oven or whatever. I don't even know all the equipment that's in there. Because I know the Elks, they used to let you heat up.
No, they
They
don't.
don't anymore?
No, They let you stage it there. You can, you can use the kitchen for, just putting your stuff down and whatever, but you can't use the ovens at all. And because that's a liability, and that's what I'm surprised.
All right, we'll have to talk to Adam and check everything with that for their insurance. Thank you. Anything else? Discussion up here? Chris? Nope. Erica?
Nope.
Ann?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Committeeman Kappadis?
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Okay. There is no first reading, am I correct? All right. On these resolutions, we'll go through them. Tell me if you want me to pull any. Before I forget, there's another. Oh no, it's discussion, I'm sorry. Resolution 2018-231, 232, 233, 234, 235, 236, 237, 238, 239, 240, 241, and 242. Have a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolutions 2018231 through 2018242.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Kappadis?
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Okay, on discussion and action items, the last one, we did that in August meeting, so that is, we're not discussing that,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We have discussed approval request from a couple of Shinhorny, so on, to use Chisholm Community Center as a nearby indoor emergency evacuation facilities. Hold on.
Now, the one thing, Scott's here. I don't have to speak on your behalf, you're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't trust me, to do it. No, I'm just kidding.
You were just moving along so quick.
I even wrote it down, I remember.
My only comment on this particular resolution is that it would not preclude the township from using the Chisholm Center as an evacuation center, or for whatever use we needed to use it for an emergency.
Township comes first.
It sounds like, in reading this and talking about it, that this is more of like a one-shot deal. Maybe there was a fire or something like that had to run out. Rather than run into Veterans Park, they could go into the building. But if it was any kind of long-term use, that the township use of it would take precedence over
Yes,
that.
township comes first.
We just make sure it's
I'm good.
worded as such.
Can we just make sure, we talk to them, let them know? The township does come first. All right?
I'd like to make a motion to approve request from Temple Sharia Shalom to use Chisholm Community Center as an as-needed indoor emergency evacuation facility with the hold harmless and insurance certification attached.
I second that.
Committeeman Kappadis?
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Okay. Correspondence. Citizens improving affordable housing. Anybody have anything to say about that? No? All right. Cranford land use ordinance, yard regulations, and 2018-14. Driveways, parking, and loading and unloading requirements. Any problems? Westfield land use ordinance. All right. Any unfinished business? Anything? You have anything? The only, I don't know if we're going to, all right, we're going close. Okay, all right. Okay. Our public comment on any government item, anything whatsoever.
How you doing? Jerry Fernandez, 393 Hillside Avenue. Can you touch a little bit on what Benoni is going to be doing at the Springfield Firehouse, what that's about?
The what?
The resolution 28231, I know it was passed, but I'm just curious what that.
Isn't it the overhang for the parking?
Mayor, if you want, Sam can dwell on it quite a bit.
Yes. Oh. Was Sam?
So,
Sam knows more about it than I do.
so the fee's not to exceed 71,000.
Oh, is that for the
The fire.
structure? For the parking?
That the ongoing environmental issue
Environmental.
we've had
It's all
for
environmental.
years.
Sam, go ahead, you want to?
Yeah, this is a continuation of the environmental work that has started years and years ago and probably will continue for many years to come until the site is cleaned up. This is because there's some oil contamination at the oil site, as we all know from the previous use of the property. So there will be some air testing, some removal of material through the wells that are installed on the site, and they will be putting together specs for air system, similar to the radon system, except it's an air system that will clean air within the firehouse.
Inside? What have we been doing? You said we've been doing work on there now? What have we do in the past? What have we been doing?
Similar work. You have to comply with the DEP regulations. We have to put in those monitoring wells, and we have to take samples every few months, and you have to see what kind of products are in those samples and what we need to do to remove whatever product is found. So it is continuation, and as we did at the property at the Department of Public Works, we had similar situation, and we kept monitoring those wells until it came to a point where all the samples that were removed were clean and no further action was needed, and then we closed up the case. And that's the goal here.
That was 30 years ago. That was Scheibel Oil, and when I moved here, it was.
Say that again, sorry?
It was Scheibel.
Scheibel Oil Company, yes.
And it was,
What year did they start?
what year did they leave?
Yeah.
When we bought it, when the town bought it, which I don't know how long.
2000.
No, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you were talking about
no.
the people that were cleaning it.
Oh, no. It was black soil in it. It was contaminated, it was bad, really bad.
And then just the last question, the human resource and payroll, can you explain that one a little bit, what's going on with that?
Mr. Mayor, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna switch to a new payroll company, which is gonna be in-house admins. We're going to be saving money, hopefully almost $30,000 in the next 4 years. And we're going to be also, it integrates directly to our general ledger too. We currently use admins right now. It's just another module we're gonna add on.
Okay, and was this similar to what you had in-house before with the payroll human resource people that you had working here?
We've never had really a payroll system in-house. This one is actually going to be in-house. This is the first time.
And the human resource?
The human resources,
Was it payroll and human?
It is, it's payroll and human
So
resources,
what
yes.
would the HR be doing?
The HR right now is going to help us out tremendously with 1095s, which is Obamacare, and the monitoring of Obamacare. At the end of each year right now, we're required all full-time individuals, and then we have to do a test. These crazy forms that you get in the mail at the end of the year called 1095Cs, okay, this program is going to help generate that and also monitor that.
Okay, so I guess my question was, a couple months ago, I saw something that some HR would let go from in town that we had. Were they doing that already, or is there a reason that we switched up?
We are currently using right now a company called Prime Point for both
So they
HR.
didn't- So those people that were not doing this?
No.
Is that right?
Right.
Two separate.
Two separate?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank
I'm
you.
surprised you didn't ask the last resolution, 242, about those shared services with Milburn.
Oh, it's good to see.
I just want to, okay.
How much are you saving?
Well, you want to, Sam, who knows? I told
Is this
you,
the joint purchase?
I think we're saving 50% of the cost of them.
50% of the cost of the machine, but it's not going to be used all the time. From what I explained to me, it's a small thing that can go in the sewers, sewer lines and all that, and check, take pictures and all those, so we can, get it in there. And they're going to use it, and we're going to use it, on a basis. So
It's a sanitary sewer inspection camera system that is very advanced, and it is a very expensive system, so we and Milburn will be sharing the cost and sharing the use of that system.
And the savings of approximately $109,000.
okay,
Right.
yeah.
Correct. The machine and
machine is
the
worth-
transportation equipment that actually carries it. Yes. Correct.
Okay. Michael. Anyone else?
Mike Bartosh, 77 Tudor Court. We're having a problem over in our complex. Approximately 16 to 18 weeks ago, 18 apartments were flooded out. I'm sorry, 24. And this has all taken place ever since Longhorn Steakhouse moved into that area.
Whereabouts are you?
On Route, I'm in the new building right behind Longhorn Steakhouse on Route 22.
It's Springfield Gardens?
It's Mountain View Gardens. It's off of Hillside Avenue. Now, approximately 4 weeks ago, we had another heavy rain, and the water backed up and it flooded the apartments again. And me personally, I had to get a remediation company in to do remediation in my finished lower level. They ripped out the padding, they ripped out the carpeting, they sanitized everything down there. There were items that I had to throw away, books, pictures, so on and so
I'm
forth.
sorry.
But I'm not getting any answers.
This is the first I heard. To be honest.
From what I understand, Mr. Betcher went over there, and maybe Sam could correct me on this, but he was over there some weeks ago, and he came in from Route 22 to find out if there was a blockage in the water line, but his system couldn't go far enough. And then the property management company had a company come in, and they supplied the equipment, or they did the job, and they found out that there was a blockage in Longhorn Steakhouse in their water lines, and it was backing everything up.
Is it due to grease, did they say?
No.
No, I can
I think Sam can
explain.
answer this question best of all.
Do you want me to answer it now? You
Yes.
have other things you want to discuss first?
No,
That's-
I'll save those for another day.
Okay.
This is more important because my apartment has gotten flooded out twice already.
I understand.
And a lot of people have lost a lot of their personal belongings, and it just seems like it's going nowhere.
Okay.
And we've got this storm coming up, which is supposed to hit the Carolinas, but if we do get a heavy rain up here, those apartments, including mine, in the lower level, are gonna get flooded out again. And they've had anywhere between 18 to 24 inches of water in their apartments, in the basements. So possibly.
Okay, let me just
I
explain
can
what's
get some
happening here.
explanation on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When Longhorn was constructed, apparently there was a storm sewer pipe that is running from the apartment complex through the Longhorn property, tied into a catch basin into the Longhorn property, and that catch basin went to Route 22. The Longhorn owners did a title search to find out what kind of easement they have on the property, and they were able to locate certain easements. However, they did not show any easement that indicate that that storm sewer line is supposed to be running through their property. They also didn't find that line. However, they did find the catch basin, but they didn't find a line that's connected to the apartment complex. So they removed that line, that catch basin. They removed it and they installed a new system as per approved plans that were submitted to the planning board. Now, I was not aware of this until maybe a week ago when Mr. Butcher talked to me about it. I dug up the plans from Longhorn from last year, and I didn't see any connection between the apartment complex and Longhorn. And I spoke with the property manager at the complex, and I spoke to the engineer who designed the job for Longhorn, and everybody was like, there shouldn't be any line coming through from the apartment building because there is no easement that allows them to do that. However, we kept looking into older documents, and we did find actually a connection between the apartment building and Longhorn old system, but there is no actual legal easement that allows them to do that. It just somebody put it in years and years ago, and it was removed when Longhorn was built. So I'm trying to be the in-between guy. There's really no township responsibility to force Longhorn to reconnect that pipe, because I don't believe, correct me, Mr. Dowd, I don't believe the township has the authority to make a property owner allow somebody else to tie into their system. And I suggested that the two property owners work together and create some kind of easement and reconnect that line from the apartment complex into Longhorn system into 22. However, that could take time. And that time, I recommended to the apartment complex to have their engineer come up with a quick solution to pump the water or put a temporary pipe into the storm sewer pipe on 22 so that they can alleviate this water problem until they work out the issue with the easement and permanent connection. And that's where we are.
Can we, to help the people
Yeah.
out there, can we sit down with them? I'd like to get somebody from Longhorn and the apartment complex. See if they can come Thursday night. I don't want to see these people get ruined again. I mean, I know what it's like to get stuff ruined. I mean, it's...
I tried to set up a meeting, and I'm still trying to set up a meeting, but I think they are going to, the engineer from the apartment complex will be, or is communicating now with the engineer for Longhorn. And, you know, there are issues in terms of who pays for what. The engineer for Longhorn is done, is gone, get paid, finish the job, and gone. And the engineer for the apartment complex say, you know, any work I do, I have to get paid for. So there is an issue that they have to resolve. Who's going to be paying for what? But at the meantime, I think at this time, in my opinion, the apartment complex has a responsibility to come up with a solution to alleviate this issue for those residents.
Can you stop over here again tomorrow and have Mr. Herbert or somebody else go?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
And we'll see what we can do. You know, I didn't know this existed, to be honest with you.
Major disaster.
Right, I mean,
I have a question.
Sure.
Was that definitely never an easement? Did they do a 60-year search, or did they not maybe find an easement in a search?
No, they did an actual title search, and they come up with a, I couldn't tell you, but I have a copy of the plan that it's called a title plan, where it shows all the easement on that are supposed to be on that property.
I just want to, I mean, this way, because if we get the rain they say we might get, they could be in trouble again. I want to make sure something's there by the weekend.
The apartment complex can can temporarily pump their water from an existing manhole that they have there into, into the right-of-way toward 22. So they can do that, which I think they are doing that. I don't know if what they're doing is adequate or not, but they are pumping from that manhole.
Check that out, and let me know.
I will.
All right. Anyone else?
What if it doesn't pick up by the previous owner? Because that's how it's happening.
All right.
Scott Horowitz, 74Q Drive. As you're aware, we have a hurricane coming up, and as we were the epicenter of the last weather, I want to know what has been done to prevent Springfield from being without power again for a prolonged period of time. Have there been any changes to the Waverly Power Station or anything done since the last crisis?
They've worked on them. I'll be very honest with you. I sat down with Robert.
Rob Walton.
Robert, and I said, because the one that's over behind here, across from the fire station.
Waverly.
Waverly, that's where, it's very low. And I said, raise it, my common sense, I'm raise it up. And he said, they'll do what they can, and that's what, and they've been doing it. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because I was out the same amount as you.
You called me after that, I appreciate it.
Jerry wasn't out at all. We all should have Jerry's house, right? But the long time you weren't out, the 2 weeks or something like that, or were you? Oh.
Two long outages, I was the first one.
But I mean, I'd like to get, I get notified as soon as anything happens. I don't know if anybody else on the committee does, but I know I get it notified. And then he calls me, because he knows I'm on.
I can add to that, Mr. Mayor. JCP&L have upgraded that facility, not fully, but they have spent a substantial amount of funding to upgrade that facility and other facilities in Springfield, and they are constantly doing that. And Mr. Walton, who is the public affairs person from JCP&L, he comes to this township committee meetings regularly and updates the township about the work they do.
Thank you.
And hopefully the communication, and we don't want to, if there's a power outage, that some of the things we brought to them when we met with them will improve their communication and it'll expedite the repairs. So hopefully it'll be better if ever comes to that again, which hopefully it won't.
Chief and Linda and Sam, can we make sure that the parents know that Mountain Avenue is going to be closed for gas pipes? I forget the dates. I mean, because I want to make sure all the parents, I mean, just go over to school, make sure the school's contacting the parents so they don't have, you're not flooded with phone calls, is what I'm worried about.
No pun intended.
Have we gotten those dates yet?
I thought I saw them, I read them somewhere, and I forget where.
I'll check, because I got a couple updates today on things.
Yeah, I just want to make, because I know they're going to close it, and Walton School's going back tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So I want to make sure people around there and all that they all know, what's going to happen. Anybody else?
Hi, Matthew Cass, 832 Mountain Avenue. Just a quick clarification. So there's going to be some pipe laying along Mountain Avenue near Walton School in the near future?
Yes, I don't know the exact dates. I thought I read it somewhere.
I do not recall receiving any notices on that. I don't know which company is doing that.
Once you find out, they'll let you know. Hello.
We'll let you know.
Very good. And my second question is regarding resolution number 2018-235. That was already passed, but I just wanted a quick bit of clarification on what exactly the grant is going to do to get us to the National Crime Statistics Exchange Program.
Chief? Yep.
Yes. Okay, just give me one quick second to just deny this. Okay, we were part of a pilot program. Our town was selected as part of a pilot program some point in 2017, and it's all about the connectivity of different systems for different agencies throughout the state and even nationally, I believe, as well. And in that we were part of that pilot program, we were eligible for grant monies. Like, everyone's going to have to go to this, and departments or townships are going to be responsible to pay for it. But being that we were part of the pilot program, we became eligible for a grant to pay for our cost to cover the updates that we need to do. So that's, our involvement with the state agencies allowed us to become a part of that, the pilot program, which was very successful on our end.
Okay, and so just a quick follow-up too, and then I'm done. The cost of the program the grant will cover is simply the installation of hardware in the record management system, from what I'm reading?
And software. Yeah, I believe in software as well. Yes. Hardware and software for whatever it is we needed.
Very good, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none? Linda?
This is Resolution 9/11/18, whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meetings Act provides that a public body may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Committee will, during this meeting, enter into discussion of the following matters: personnel, Township Administrator position, whereas the matters to be discussed in closed session are to remain in the strictest of confidence by all Township Committee members in furtherance of their fiduciary duties to the Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved, matters discussed at this meeting will be released to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting upon them in closed session no longer exist.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will not be making any action afterwards. Thank you, and have a good night.